G'day Bomber fans. Well, Essendon have 3 forced changes to make against the Giants next week. Martin, Setterfield and Hobbs will all miss with injury, which means we will again have to dip into the resis to pick some players out to replace them. So let's look at the likely options and their most recent game against Box Hill. It was a pretty brutal VFL game. The Hawks are top of the ladder. The AFL side has about 4 players on the injury list. We've got, 4 times that many. So, yeah, there's a clear differential in quality, just, even without the injuries. But pile that on, and the VFL side is really struggling. So, yeah, we were going up against the best team with a bunch of lesser players. There was a clear differential. Hawks smashed us 134 to 65. So keep that in mind with some of these performances, because we were on the back foot all day pretty much against a much, much better team. Box Hill are first on the ladder. We are, I think, 18th out of 20 odd teams. But yeah, let's go through the AFL listed players and see how they did. Starting with Dylan Shiel. Now, to talk about Shiel, we do have to mention Vigo Vicentini. So he was rested, and that's maybe a sign that he plays AFL instead of Goldie next week against the Giants. But him being rested meant that we didn't really have a proper ruck. The hit-out count was 48 to 6. Essendon as a team had 6 hit-outs. So yeah, we never really got first use, which obviously made it really hard for the midfielders to get the upper hand. He only had the 2 clearances, Dylan Shiel, and, he was often caught out of position. The Hawks had, much more coming out of the midfield than we did, but I liked Shield's efforts around the ground. There was intent to run with the ball and move with the flow of play. He looked proper knackered at times, but that's because he was genuinely working pretty hard. And there was reward. He got the 23 touches, the 10 score involvements, a few really good touches, some fluffed kicks here and there, but some elite moments by foot. I thought he was he was one of our better players, I'll say. I wonder if he comes back into the main team, with all those injuries to the midfield, and he can. I just think the issue is the 5-day break, because he was clearly working really hard in this game. I wouldn't be surprised if he's too knackered to get up for it, but yeah, good stuff. I think we probably see him at least once more before the year ends, because we don't really have too many players in our team left. Archie Perkins played mostly in the midfield. He would have attended the most or close to it for centre bounces, so we don't really have the stats at this level for that. But yeah, no, like with Shiel, it's tough to get going when your team has 6 hit-outs as a whole. Our midfielders were always on the back foot, so there were quite a few times where Perkins was left in the dust by his direct opponent. It happened a lot. But I thought he was really promising in what he could control, because, it's his first VFL game of the year. He's dropped. He had a lot more confidence than I thought he would have. He was playing with real strength at the contest and holding up well in tackles. He was taking on really risky kicks, and they were paying off, which was good to see. I like this game a lot. I'd like to see him get another game or 2 at VFL level, but with the injuries to our midfielders, I feel like he probably just comes back into the AFL side, so that is the unfortunate thing about this. But yeah, good response to being dropped. I thought he was good. 21 touches, 6 marks, 3 tackles, good stuff. Kayle Gerreyn, I thought he was really good. The stats won't really show it, but the 14 touches, 1 hit out, 1 goal, 1 behind, 6 marks. It doesn't look like a huge game, but I thought he presented really well around that wing area as that outlet marking target. His hands were really strong. He took pretty much everything on first grab, really strong in front of his chest, even when players breathing down his neck. I really liked his ball use too. He kicked a really nice goal in his non-preferred, and he set up a shot with a pinpoint stab pass inside 50. The highlight was probably the run he had on the wing, where he took a bounce or 2 and then kicked it with the outside of his boot, kind of in the direction or the path of Menzie, who ran in and missed a shot on goal. But no, he was really solid. Good experience as well, because he was playing on some really good key defenders. Hawthorn have Sam Frost and Jack Scrimshaw in their VFL team. That is not fair. So yeah, the forward line didn't really get going, but he was good whenever he had the ball. I was happy with this game. Jye Menzie was the most productive of our small forwards. He was always a factor in the game. He was having shots. He was getting around the pill and open play. He was providing good pressure. He had the 13 touches, 2 goals, 3 behinds, a few really strong tackles. He was our main man up forward, really. And the thing is, he probably left a couple of goals out there. Like, there were some set shots that he should have kicked. The way he was playing for me, it was a 3 or 4 goal game. He was really active inside 50, not just for himself, but for teammates. His hands were lovely to assist O'Neill for a goal early in the game. He had some really good closing moments to force turnovers. I feel like he would have probably been about our best player for the match if he was a bit more clinical inside. Actually, thinking back on it, 2 goals, 3. I think all 3 of those behinds should have been goals. So 2 of them were set shots that, fairly straightforward set shots. One was him running into an open goal and he dribbled it on the wrong side of the post. Really, if he was a clinical forward, he kicks 5 goals. The opportunities he had were I'm going to say straightforward. They should have been kicked. But no, I think despite those misses, he was really good. He was really active. He was really energetic. He was our best small forward. Some really strong moments inside 50. And I think now with Ben Hobbs going down with injury, it probably opens the door for Jye Menzie to return. I think that makes the most sense. It's kind of like for like. So yeah, I think we probably see Menzie back at AFL level. I'd be surprised if he's not the one replacing Hobbs after this game. Alwyn Davey Jnr. So really interesting one here. He was actually playing in defence. This is a move that I talked about happening earlier in the year. We eventually get it very late, probably too late, if anything. I thought that, if he was to revive his career, it would have to be in a new position. And to be fair, he did look all right down back. He got his hands on the footy a lot, 19 touches, quite a few interceptions. He was reading the ball really well. Took a few kickouts, I think, from memory. Yeah, I like him in defence. It's probably the best he's looked in a long time. And sometimes all you need is that little positional refresh just to kind of spruik your mind a bit. I like the way he moved back there. And he did make plenty of mistakes, but he took the game on at least when he made those mistakes. It's kind of like the other year when we moved Tex Wanganeen to defence and he just looked better. But kind of like with Tex Wanganeen, I don't know if it's going to be enough. Like at this stage, he'd have to do so much to get his career back on track. Kind of parallel with Wanganeen, actually. Like, they're both improving, but it's almost a case of too little too late, unfortunately. But yeah, it's good to at least see improvement and growth in his game. I thought he was really good. Guelfi was probably the most disappointing of the AFL listed player. I actually don't know if he managed to play the full game or not. I'm going to be honest. Maybe you guys can let me know down in the comments if you noticed anything. I might have missed him coming off because he ended the game with 6 touches, most of them early. He was swung to defence a little bit when we kind of wanted to stop Hawthorn score or Box Hill scoring. And maybe he kind of got lost in the game there. But yeah, 6 touches, some good tackle work at times early, but he really didn't do much at all, Guelfi. Let me know if there's something I missed. Rhys Unwin, I really liked him last week, and I said that he was set to get more minutes around the footy in the midfield, not stoppage or centre bounce midfield, but kind of around there. And we're now seeing him positioned a lot more on the wing, so that's interesting. He's kind of up around the footy. Because I've said all year, when he has the footy in space, or just in general, good things usually happen. But yeah, on that wing, new role, didn't quite get it going like we saw last week. He just had the 2 kicks for the game. He was often caught running and chasing. Wasn't able to really get anything going. It was his quietest game in a while, Unwin. Pretty poor outing, which, to be fair, is the case for a lot of our young players, both in the AFL and VFL this week. So not an issue for a player with a 2-year contract. He isn't alone in having a quieter game. Saad El-Hawli, I thought he was great. He had the 21 touches. He helped out our defence a lot. Most of the footy he would have won was in that defensive half. Had some really nice holding the ball run down tackles, which is great. He's got serious pace. His work rate was awesome. I think surely now he comes back into the team. He's had 2 VFL games since that hamstring, both really solid VFL games, and he really gave effort running both ways. He is clearly fit. He's clearly put that injury behind him. He's playing good wing footy. I think he comes into the side for Loal, to be honest. That kind of just has to happen. I'd be really surprised if Saad is playing VFL footy next week and Loal's playing in the AFL, because he's done enough in the last fortnight to come straight back into the side. He was one of our better players. Jayden Nguyen back from his injury, which is awesome because I love watching Jayden Nguyen. He is such a fun player to watch. He had a really interesting day. He was actually given not like a proper lockdown role, but he was given quite a few minutes on Luke Bruce for large parts of the game, which is fantastic. That is an awesome experience for a first-year rookie, getting to play on one of the best and smartest small forwards of the modern era. And the great thing is, he kept him goalless for most of the game. Bruce only kicked a goal late in the game in the 4th quarter. And to be fair, he wasn't on Bruce the whole time, but when he was on Bruce, he really pocketed him, so that is awesome. He should take heaps of confidence from that. Yes, Bruce is kind of winding down his career in the VFL, but just, the experience to play on someone that smart, that respected is just great for the kid, especially first game back from the injury. So, yeah, I thought he was really good on return. Just the 12 touches, but some awesome defensive efforts. He really doesn't shy away from the contest. There was one tackle that I really loved where he brought down... it wasn't Mitch Lewis. It was another Hawthorn key forward, AFL listed key forward. I forget who, sorry. But yeah, he brought him down like a 200-centimetre player going up against little Jayden Nguyen, and Nguyen brings him down the ground, and he's just a tough kid. I really like watching him play. I feel like there are quite a few players who could really learn from Nguyen because... I don't know, there are players who are built for footy, and then there are players who are mentally built for footy. And Nguyen's body, it's not a footy body, He's quite small, but he really does, he makes up for it with just pure attitude. I really like watching this kid play. Archie Day-Wicks, he was playing a lot less midfield minutes than usual, which was interesting. He was mostly up forward where the ball wasn't around him. I liked his aerial work. He took some nice grabs in the air and had a few contests where he kind of brought the ball to ground in front of him. The major talking point here is a potential injury. I'm saying potential because we don't know yet. He came off the ground in the fourth quarter hobbling. He was holding his groin, I think the commentary said. There was talk of it just being cramp. I don't know much about groin cramps, but knowing Essendon, he's probably going to be out for the next 3 years. So, yeah, watch out for this one. But, yeah, nothing confirmed yet. I don't know if he came back. He didn't come back on the field. I think he was iced up. So, yeah, just the 11 touches and a slight injury concern. And finally, Liam McMahon. Just an opportunistic day. He barely touched the ball all game, just the 6 disposals. In the last quarter, you're thinking he's having a bit of a stinker. And then, as always, he just finds a way to bob up for some goals, you know, and then you realise by the end he's got 3 for the game. It's just a typical McMahon game of footy. All his goals were clever and opportunistic. The first was a crumbing goal where a spoil was kind of directed in front of him. The other 2 were pretty much uncontested marks inside 50. Not even good entries or one of them definitely wasn't a good entry. Kind of just like reads the flight of the ball and marks it on ground level. Just reads it a bit quicker than those around him. So 3 goals, 1 from 6 disposals. You can't really complain with that. He kicked a little bag from not a lot of play, and that is the beauty of McMahon. He doesn't have to get the footy much to make it count. But that is that. VFL recap done and dusted. The Bombers lost, but we saw some promising signs from young players. I think the inclusions for the GWS game, it kind of has to be Perkins in the midfield. Maybe Saad comes in for Lawal. You've got 2 more injured players. I think Menzie comes in for Hobbs, and maybe Shiel comes in for Setterfield or, you know, one of the other midfielders. If not Shiel, I don't even know. Shiel, I don't know, is he going to be too tired? It is, we're getting to a stage where it is really just tough to pick players. But I guess we've been at that stage for a while. But that is all. Cheers for watching, Bomber fans. Like if you enjoyed, subscribe if you're new, and go Bombers.